Today, I kind of wanted to talk about this subject that's kind of been in my mind for a while, but I see like so many people just kind of almost disconnect from reality from just being on their phones. And I really see it oftenly in school where they just talk about like, Instagram Reels or just TikTok or, Snapchat, all of that stuff. And I'm not saying that's like bad to have those things. It's certainly good to be able to connect with friends and all that. But with that comes like the insane content consumption that is just doom scrolling, and it's just become something that's just mainstream now, where it's quote unquote normal for people to be spending 2 to 3 hours every day just scrolling on their phones. And you know having that become mainstream is something that I it's really depressing to see. And it's not only affecting like my age or like people around my age, Gen Z. It's also affecting like older people and even like young kids. And okay, speaking from my generation, from Gen Z, i I gotta humble myself really quick and say that I was an iPad kid. I i remember getting my first tablet when I was like, what, 6. But you gotta admit, the content that was on during the 2010s was not as bad as what it is now. It's not like trying to grab as the content then wasn't trying to grab your attention for like it wasn't begging for it, is what I'm trying to say. Because the content now, you see, you have all these flashing colors, you see text that's popping up on the screen, so you kind of have to read and listen to what the person's saying just for it to be somewhat interesting. You also have to have Subway Surfers at the bottom of your screen just so you can have some attention span. It's kind of depressing, and it's to just see how the younger kids, like Gen Alpha, is coming to this world, and this is kind of the content that they're exposed to. It's scary, to be honest. Like, I feel like I was born in a time where everything was at its peace. I don't know if the world will ever be as peaceful as it was when I was as young, but I who knows, right? But in my age, 2000, like I was born in '09, right? So I was kind of raised around, the 2010s era. So what I just remember was like, shoot, what even was it? It was actually going out and socializing with my friends. This was like way before COVID happened, right? So I remember I would just go out, socialize with friends. I would sometimes go on like, the App Store and play Angry Birds, and watch YouTubers like PewDiePie. And yeah, it's I don't think we'll ever have a time like that ever again. Then when you see and even then when you see these people who have gone successful like in the 2010s, like you kind of um see them evolve throughout time. Like I remember this one's pretty big, but Mr. Beast. I remember back when he used to make content in his backyard with like his 4 friends, and I remember his content wasn't as attention grabbing as it is today. And it's just kind of sad to see the evolution that some people take, and either whether it be good for bad. I remember seeing one of PewDiePie's videos the other day, and it was him just being happily retired with his family. And I think that's actually really wholesome to see him, settle down and actually enjoy his life now that he's past like his prime, right? And it's sad to see that like some things just won't ever be the same. Like going outside won't ever be the same because everyone's so excuse me. Everyone's so inside and like so antisocial. It's scary, really. and we've had like places like malls closing down. I remember going to the mall like every other day with my parents, and it would be like the most like, fun experience. And it's sad to see that most malls are closing down. They're not getting as much like traction as they used to be back when times were simpler. And you know, maybe it is our phones. Maybe we've kind of almost done this to ourselves, where we've um, almost isolated ourselves to being so attached to our phones and the media because um, I don't think the internet has been as relevant as it was today because I remember in the 2010s the phones were still kind of new, right? I think the first major smartphone um, well, actually, phones have actually been around for a while, but I just don't remember it being such as a problem after 2019, I'd say. So, yeah, I'm not blaming COVID for all. Well, actually, maybe COVID actually might have to do something with it, but I'm not so sure. Maybe you can correct me on this, but yeah, phones weren't seen as a big problem as they were today because things aren't so advanced, and I think it's beautiful to see technology evolve. We're getting like pretty good stuff. Like, I mean, even Google for the 2010s, it was pretty revolutionary. But now we're getting like AI, which can be a very good thing. It can be like a tool that helps us help digest knowledge better, but it can also be used to fry the brains of our other people because I don't. How many people do you know own books these days? Be honest. Your parents, your grandparents, but none of your friends, right? They don't read books. And I mean, I don't blame them either. Books can actually be quite boring, but um yeah, I don't see people talk about books as often as they used to be because they're such a vital part of our our human history, but it's just kind of came to this point now where we can all just rely on our electronics and not like our actual critical thinking skills to actually go out and learn the knowledge ourselves. But yeah, it's like I said, it's beautiful to see technology evolve, but it can also be very scary because we don't know what um, technology can actually come to because in the end we don't know what these robots might do because I know it sounded like a fantasy for like the past 10 years, but I feel as if it's going to become a reality where we're actually going to have robots that are going to be part of our everyday lives. And yeah. But yeah, anyways, back to my main topic of the 2010s. Um Things just aren't the same anymore, and yeah, maybe it's just part of me growing. I don't know how people who grew up in the 2000s think of today, but I just remember playing on my DS. I remember waking up and actually wanting to be happy for the day, and maybe it's a sense of childhood that I need to reconnect with to actually be happy because a lot of people aren't actually happy or content with themselves these days. And I think a part of that's just not actually being genuinely happy and not trying to live someone else's life but yours, or trying to be accepted by others but accepted by yourself, right? I know that's kind of a very separate topic, but I don't know, man. Stuff's evolving too quick, and I don't I'm never giving my child an iPad. I'm never letting my child get TikTok on their phone at the age of 3. I'm never exposing my child to these things because this is just ridiculous, man. It's terrible. But yeah, I'll just see where the future takes us because we never know. Maybe things can get better. Maybe things will get worse. But in the end, we don't know. But yeah, if you stayed this far, I appreciate you watching the video. And if you could, subscribing would mean a lot to me. Thank you.